Put you first. I'm telling you, loving yourself means knowing how to put yourself back up. That's like comfy. That's like right in between the I'm sorry and the oh well. Grace is the word of the day. Keep it cute, because guess what? Those people gonna be like, ooh, mute. Trust you enough where other people can manipulate you. You're worth everything that you desire. Hi guys. Welcome to The Hub with Kaya. I am your host, Kaya, and today's topic, we are going to be talking about loving yourself. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that we are cultivating a growth environment. I want to inform you guys that this is a transparent and authentic podcast where I'm going to be openly and freely me. So if I have your consent to do so, please let me know by hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a big thumbs up. Also, I have included timestamps as well for a smoother and easier experience for you guys. So I am super excited for you guys to tune in to this week's episode because it is a passionate one. Be sure to follow my social media. All of my handles will be listed down below in the description box. This hits home for me in a couple different ways. Also, ignore my glasses. I hope they're not annoying you guys as far as like the light hitting it. First of all, where are my manners? The Hub is a place where we collaborate on topics ranging from unconventional to popular to uncomfortable to passionate, while bringing together a community into one place. I apologize for that. How rude of me. For those who are new here, welcome to The Hub. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure that you are subscribed and leave a big thumbs up if you found any of this information helpful or useful, or if you just enjoyed today's topic. With that being said, now we can dive into this. I also want to let you guys know a couple announcements. I got a new mic, and that's for a couple reasons you guys will be seeing upcoming, but I'm really feeling the white mic. I think especially with my white shirt, like it's really just like, I think giving the vibe that it kind of needs. So I'm really liking this. And also it is February, so happy February to everyone. And happy Black History Month. I guess in society's eyes, this is like the month of love. Really, every month should be the month of love, but because February is more so, Valentine's Day and everything, I was like, let's talk about love this February. So this entire month, I will be discussing topics surrounded by love. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I find topics like that a bit uncomfortable for me, so enjoy me being uncomfortable while trying to be comfortable talking to you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into loving yourself, because I have so much to unpack with this topic. Honestly, I wanted to start this month with talking about loving yourself because, like I said, I think a lot of people, when they think of February and when they think of Valentine's Day, it's about, loving someone else and being in a relationship or having a partner, whomever. And I'm like, you don't have to have a partner in order to celebrate Valentine's Day, right? You can celebrate Valentine's Day even when you're single. You can celebrate Valentine's Day with someone that you love. There's Galentine's Day, okay? I did that last year. If you have a dog, you can celebrate with your dog. If you have your family member, like you can do it with other people. It doesn't have to be necessarily a significant other. So I just want you guys, I guess, to for those who may not be in a relationship, you can open up the possibility. It's not just set on it has to be your significant other. Now, if you do have a significant other, make sure you spend, some time with them. But if they don't really care, then y'all don't really care. For me personally, I don't really I'm not like this date is set for us. I think that if we want to celebrate February 16th, that's what we're going to do. It has nothing to do with February 14th is the day we must celebrate. I just think that a lot of people, like to do it on the date. But to each his own when it comes to that. And yeah, so, but in this month, I am more so, I'm talking to the people who are in a relationship too, but I'm mainly talking about those who are single and those who need a little bit of work. But if you're in a relationship, don't think that you don't need work on yourself. You need to work on you too, okay? And maybe let your partner listen to this too, okay? Y'all can listen to this episode together. So let's get straight into it. I have so much to unpack here, guys. I have so much to unpack. So I have my notes over here to the side. So if you guys see me glance over here, I'm just looking at my notes that I'm going to be just reading off of a little bit. So I hope that is okay with you guys. Going into my first point, they're a little bit like all over the place, but we'll just touch on it as we go, right? So going to my first point, sometimes you have to teach people how to love you. A lot of these points are going to hit heavy for me, guys, and I'm trying to keep this as concise as possible, but I feel extremely strongly about loving you and loving you first. Put you first. Like, I'm very passionate about that topic. Okay, so not everyone's going to know how to love you properly. This does kind of tie into love languages, right? The 5 love languages, and I'll go into a deeper video talking about this. But physical touch, quality time, gifts, words of affirmation, and acts of service, right? Those are the top 5. People might be like, oh, I feel love with music. I feel love with food. That's not necessarily the top 5, but like I get you, right? Some people, we need to understand that when it comes to love languages, my 3 love languages, my top is quality time, and then I would say acts of service and then gifts, okay? So when it comes to someone else, let's say I have a partner and their love language is quality time top, physical touch, and then words of affirmation. As their partner, I am supposed to be showing them their love language, right? I'm supposed to be making sure that I give them words of affirmation. I'm supposed to make sure that I give them, the touch that they need, right? And they're supposed to make sure that they're doing things for me, maybe making me breakfast, little stuff like that, getting me chocolate, giving me gifts. And quality time is both of our top, so we're probably both going to do that naturally since we both like that. But your love language is for you to know for your partner, so you can do that act towards your partner. My partner is not going to feel loved if I get them a gift. They might appreciate it, but they're not going to feel like, wow, like this is how I love, because that's not their love language. They're not going to feel loved if I don't feel loved if you tell me, oh, you're so extremely beautiful and I'm so thankful and proud of you. Even though I love hearing those words, it doesn't show me that, oh, I feel so loved by him. I more so feel it with these other ways. And so I honestly like all 5 to a certain extent. Touch, lowest, but I do like all 5 to a certain extent. I just know that those are my top 3. That's when I'm going to feel the most. And you should ask yourself what your love language is if you haven't figured it out yet. It's totally okay, but I would definitely try to figure it out, especially before you enter into a relationship, just so you know how you're coming into something, because we're all about going into something kind of knowing who we are and kind of what we want. I understand we're not going to fully know the full extent of who we are, and we're still learning and growing every single day. But if you have somewhat of an idea, oh, this is the Kaya that I am today, that is totally fine. I cannot tell you the Kaya that I'll be in a couple years, but the Kaya I am today likes boom, boom, and boom. So it kind of goes into that, but it also just shows people how to love you, right? I'm very big on communication. I will do a whole different discussion talking about this. Very big on very big on communication, okay? Extremely huge on communication. Tell me stuff that you probably don't even really want to talk about. Like, that's me. I want to know, like, everything. And I'm really big on, even if you made a slight mistake, I need to know. If you bumped my car and tapped it into a pole, even though there's no dent, I want to know that it happened. Like, I'm very big on just letting me know and not withholding any information, okay? Omitting information is a lie. For those who are like, if I decide not to tell them, I didn't lie, that is a lie. So let's make that clear. But I think that for me, I had to teach people, or just in general, you might have to teach people how to love you. You might, because they might have never been loved before as a child, unfortunately, as sad as that is to say. Some people haven't been loved properly as a kid. Some people grew up in, a system, or some people just grew up where they didn't have love around them and surrounding families and everything around them to really feel like it was a nurturing and safe environment for them to feel loved. And so they don't know how to love other people. They think, oh, this is the way, that this person needs to be loved because I didn't have this, right? So I need to do this. I need to do this because I didn't have that growing up. And really that person might not feel loved that way. Like, well, I don't have that same issue. I actually have a lot of that. I actually steer away from that. I don't want any more of that. I want more of something else. Can you give me something else instead? And so there's a compromise, right? There's communication has to happen and there's a compromise that needs to happen. And you have to learn how that other person wants to be loved. And sometimes with loving yourself, it comes with, I know how I want to be loved because I know how I love me. So let me teach someone else how to love me because I know how I love me and I know how I want to be loved. And sometimes you got to teach the other person, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing. If, you're like, he doesn't know how to love me, well, teach him. If he's not willing to learn how to love you, that's when we have the issue. And that's when I say bounce up out of there. Sorry, I know a lot of people are like, save the relationships, and how do we save the relationship? And I might do a whole podcast talk. I might do an episode on that, guys. I don't know. For me, I'm really big on leave it. I'm really quick to tell you to leave something. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. So kind of going back to like those words of affirmation in a way, I also put another way to love yourself is love yourself enough where you're not looking for validation in other people. Meaning you know how to self-replenish those holes that you might have, those little gaps that you might feel in your heart. You know how to fill that up. You don't need the validation and the compliments from other people to feel good about yourself. So, and with that being said, a continuation of that is when you do seek love, it's to share it and spread it. I have so much love to give, I just want to give it to someone else, right? I want us both to build together and build a loving family. Like, I want it to blossom. It's not to fill a void though, right? And so I think that's it could be somewhat a problem in this day of age in this society when we are dating and everything. We're looking to fill voids, right? There's some people that are looking to fill voids and the gap in their heart that they have from maybe not even a previous partner. It could be from, like I said, their childhood. There's something that they're lacking. It could be from a lot of different things, but try not to go out here looking for a void. Really ask yourself, am I looking for love to find a void? First of all, there's a difference between lust and love. Let's get that straight, okay? Are you just looking for a little quick thing, lusting over some person, or are you really truly looking for love? And then second, am I trying to fill this void because there's nothing to, I have this gap in my heart, or am I actually just like, I love myself so much, I'm ready to love someone else too just as much. I'm ready to, just build and grow, because there's a healthy way to go about that, right? And so for other people who are looking for people to fill that void, I would say affirmations. You need to give yourself affirmations. I know with my therapist used to tell me to look in the mirror and give affirmations, because I am someone who did have low self-esteem for a very long time. Guys, I'm not going to get on here and act like I'm just that girl, no problems, I love me all the time since birth. Absolutely not. Okay. I had the same exact issues. Okay. But it took some time, and I will say that, looking in the mirror and telling myself I'm beautiful and I'm confident and I'm strong, sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't. It wasn't that I didn't already know that. It was just, I wish other people didn't treat me a certain way, because I knew who I was, and I was like, why do they not treat me in that way? I was out here and accepting less. That was the problem. I was accepting someone who wasn't loving me properly, but I already knew certain things about myself already, right? So with that being said, some people really don't feel that way though. Some people may feel unattractive and they don't deserve, and other things. So I would say that you do probably need to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. Maybe write yourself little love notes throughout the day, okay? Write yourself that little love note. Maybe put a reminder on your phone. Maybe you have a friend who's literally sends you positive messages in the morning. Good morning, Jane. I hope you're having a great day. Just know you're beautiful, you're strong, you're confident, and you got this, girl. I hope you have a great day. Then that's fine. There are certain friends who will do that for you. You just have to be willing to ask. And honestly, for those people who have friends who are looking for that, don't look down upon them because they are trying to get to a certain place, but they do need help getting there, and we all need help and support to get there sometimes. So help those people out and reach out to them, because it is a cry for help at times. Now, I'm not saying not to compliment no one at all, right? If I see someone and I'm like, oh, I really like her hair, I like her shoes, I'm gonna say I like her shoes. Like that, I just wanted to say that. And honestly, it really does help. And I'm gonna touch on that a little bit more later. But yeah, don't go out here looking to fill that void, guys. I understand it feels good to hear a compliment every once in a while. I completely understand that. But also, when you hear it, it should be like, yeah. That's just more so just reaffirming what you already knew about you. It's not a, am I really? Oh my gosh, it shouldn't be that. It should be, I appreciate that. They see it too. I appreciate that. The third thing is trust your intuition. Oh my gosh. This ties into loving yourself because I did not trust myself, guys. I did not trust myself and my intuition at all. It wasn't until a year ago that I learned, and I'm 22. So I was 21 when I finally learned that I can trust myself. So for all the people who are younger and may feel like, oh, it's too late, it's not. I did not trust myself in a lot of my decisions. And I was like, I'm having a lot of people, I grew up where everyone was like, Kaya, you're so judgmental and you're so rude and you're so mean and you don't give people a chance. And I was like, but I didn't want to give people a chance. Like, I'm very much goal oriented. So when I was in school, in elementary school, my goal was to be at school and leave school. There was no reason in my head to like make friends, to try to have some little boyfriend. Like, I'm 10, what? Like, to have a boyfriend, to go and like I had dance straight after. Like, I just went there, get good grades, and go to dance. To me, that was supposed to be life. But obviously, I did make friends and everything. But there would be boys and little boys who liked me, and I would be like, no, like, I don't understand. And so as I got older, and people used to be like, well, Kaya, why don't you just give people a chance? Why don't you allow them to like you? And why don't you just try? Well, I took that advice because I was like, Kaya, maybe you are a little bit harsh on yourself. Maybe you're not letting people. Maybe your standards are too high. That is an episode for another day. Stay tuned for that one. And I did it, and I won't say I regret it. I will say that was an experience, and I will not be making those certain decisions again. But what I will say is that I liked my intuition of me being like, I'm okay. I don't have regrets being like, I wish in elementary school I let that little boy be my boyfriend. I have no regrets with that at all. I just didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my gut feeling, even though I would get these gut feelings. I cannot speak on men, guys. I cannot speak on men and their intuition. I do not know. I'm not a man. I do not know. But women, we have great intuitions. Listen to your intuition. Okay? Listen to that intuition. It's not going to lie to you. Now, you might miss on certain opportunities because you're like, my intuition told me not to do it, so I didn't do it. Now I missed out on this opportunity. Okay, it's okay. More will come. Don't beat yourself up about it. Because I bet you probably would have took that opportunity, and then 2 months later something would have happened, and then you would have been like, I wish I never did it. Listen to that intuition because it's worth it. At the end of the day, it really is worth it. And so now I've learned to listen to mine. I can feel people's like vibes and energy. I can see someone, I'm like, they don't have a good vibe. They don't have a good energy, and I'm good. Like, I'm just good. I don't need to get to know them. I don't need to do, like, I'm all right. Like, they can have that because I'm really big on my energy and who I'm trying to surround myself with now in this day of age. And it's just super important in the community that I'm trying to build now. I'm trying to be very intentional. And so I'm like, I can't be around these certain people. And that's just what it is. If I feel like some deep down, when you know someone lying, y'all know. If someone's lying to you and it's like, that's just not sitting right. I'm just going home thinking about it. Guys, I remember I had a dream about this one situation. And I told my friend, and she was like, you need to listen to that dream because that might mean something. The next day, I found out something, some new information, and I was so happy. Like, that dream was very much correlated with that. It told me about that one person, and it told me a lot about that other person too. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this has never happened to me before. But I'm just learning how to trust myself. And with trusting yourself comes with loving yourself, because it was hard for me to trust me. So it's easy for other people to manipulate you. That's the other thing. You need to trust you enough where other people can manipulate you. Because I didn't trust myself enough where certain people could put certain stuff in my head. They could talk a good game, right? You could say a bunch of stuff and convince me of certain stuff because I didn't trust what I thought deep down. I didn't have proof to prove that you're wrong. Even though someone else is telling me, Kaya, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. And I've been like, I don't trust me though. And this other person is telling me, no, this is correct. But because my gut is telling me, Kaya, they're lying. I didn't trust that feeling though. I'm telling you to trust that feeling. Trust that feeling. I don't think it's going to let you down. I don't think it's going to let you down. If it does, let me know. And we can talk about it, okay? I'll bring you on. I'll bring you on the pod. I'll bring you on the podcast. So I'm just saying, learn how to trust yourself and your own judgment. Move with discernment, because a lot of these people, they don't have your best intentions at heart. I'm sorry, they don't. You need to have your best intentions at heart. Put yourself first. The fourth way of loving yourself is you deserve everything that your heart desires, guys, okay? You deserve everything that your heart desires. So we need to stop settling. Stop that settling. Your standards are not too high. Once again, that's going to be a different episode though. But you deserve everything that you desire in a person, in a relationship, in yourself. If you're like, I want to grow to be this person. Look, guys, a few years ago, I did not like the girl that I was. I really didn't. And I'm not going to go too much in depth in this episode, but let's just say, like, I was very standoffish. Okay. I had a friend and something might bother her a lot. And I was like, it's not that deep. I was very much like brush it off, and it was giving very much like avoidant. And I lacked a lot of empathy during that time in my life, okay? And I didn't like that about myself. She brought it to my attention, and it made me feel terrible as a person. It really did. It really made me feel bad. And she didn't tell me to change. She didn't say, you need to change it. She said, I don't like this and how you make me feel. I decided it's time for me to wake up and change this. It's time for me to realize that this is a problem and it's something I don't like about me, because I don't like me. And it's hard for you to love yourself when you don't even like you, right? I can like someone and not love them. I have a lot of people actually in my life like that. I'm like, and I have a lot of people where I love you, but I don't like you. Vice versa. Because there is a difference, okay? And I'm telling you that whatever your heart deep down you desire, you deserve to get it. I wanted to change. I wanted to grow. I knew I was in a space to even try to make other and better friends, and like just to really like, I was like, I need to fix and mend this situation, because this is a longtime friend of mine and I'm hurting her. How could I, I don't like that. I don't like that I'm doing that to her, making her feel this way. So I really had to look at myself and start making those changes, and I did, and I applied them, and it's been smooth sailing since. But that's what I'm telling you guys, that you need to look at yourself and do some introspection. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't do introspection. I need it to happen. Put it in your daily thing. Every time I go through a situation, I always think of how I could have made it better. I always think of what I did. I won't say wrong, but how I need to probably move in the future, right? And I think that if we can learn how to be introspective people, we can save ourselves a lot of pain in the future, because we know that this was a mistake, or this had the pattern. This is how we got there. So I know this is how I could probably avoid it. I'm not telling you can avoid everything. I'm just saying you need to be self-aware. You need to be self-aware enough to know that this needs some fixing. And I was self-aware enough to know that, which is why I was able to get to a certain place. And I would like that for you guys as well. Be able to get to that place so you can get what you desire. I desired to fix that. I desired to change and not be that girl. And now I'm not that person anymore. No one could put that on me. Even if people from back then try to throw that back at me, it doesn't affect me because I say, oh, I'm not like that anymore. You should get to know me. Because you knew Kaya from years ago. You should get to know me. Don't tell me how I am when we haven't talked in years. We haven't even talked in years. You don't know how I am. Ask me about me. And we can talk. We can talk about me. So, and that's it. No, it doesn't have to be anything ugly, y'all. None ugly, okay? Keep it cute. Because guess what? Those people going to be like, ooh, mute. The next thing is I'm going to say these two kind of together because they kind of go hand in hand, but forgiving yourself and healing. Yeah. So here's the thing. I have forgive yourself tatted on my foot because, and I won't say, at first the idea was I'm going to get a tattoo on my foot as a reminder for me to forgive me. Girl, I barely even see that. I barely see that tattoo. When I see that tattoo, I'm like, oh, yeah, that tattoo. It's real cute. I be forgetting about that tattoo, especially during the winter. I really don't see it. But what I will say is that I am learning to give myself grace. Grace is the word of the day because grace is something that I lack within myself. In the external world, externally, I'm trying to find peace. I won't say I lack it now. I am finding peace. So in society, I'm trying to learn how to manage and keep peace. And just everywhere I go, I want peaceful situations, right? But within myself and how I'm trying to go about being a little bit less, because I am very hard on myself, as most people are, but with my personality type, which is another video too, with my personality type, I'm very strict, on myself more than other people. I kind of expect people to make their mistakes, but on myself, I feel like I have a skewed version that I'm supposed to be perfect all the time. Perfectionist. So, and it doesn't make any sense. That's not real, right? It's not real. So I'm trying to learn how to forgive myself, even from those past mistakes that I made that they don't necessarily haunt me or anything today. I've mended those situations, so they don't necessarily haunt me, but I do think about a lot of stuff that I've done wrong, and I have found myself in a loop of beating myself up about it mentally, and I know that's very unhealthy, and I know that's not something that I want to do, and I try to break that. I am unfortunately a control freak, and that will come out. You guys will see that throughout my episodes. You'll see oh, that's the control freak in her. That's a control freak in her. Feel free to clock me on it because my therapist clocks me on it all the time, and I need it. I need to be clocked. I clock myself on it. Girl, that's the controlling. That's the controlling in you. Stop trying to control stuff you can't control. That's the problem, right? So I am learning to forgive myself from that stuff because other people have forgiven me. Also, learn how to ask for forgiveness, okay? I cannot stress how important it is to say sorry. I cannot stress it enough. Apologize. Not my bad. Not my fault. We love using those now. We love using those. That's comfy. That's right in between the I'm sorry and the oh well. It's my bad, my fault. Absolutely not. If the door slams in someone's face, you need to be saying, I'm sorry, okay? You can, my bad, my fault. If, I don't know, someone was like, how many chickens are there? And you was like, 3 and there's 5. Okay, my bad. But certain stuff where it's it's vital or you hurt someone's feelings, you don't need to be saying my bad and my fault. Take that out your vocabulary, especially if you're in a relationship. Take that out. Your partner does not want to hear my bad, my fault. It is your bad and your fault. I want to hear I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I'm sorry about that. How can we mend this situation? How can I fix this? How can we move on from this? Not my bad, my fault. That sounds dismissive in ways. Depending on what you're talking about. So be careful how you use that. But I also just think that asking people for forgiveness, I always ask others to forgive me and say I'm sorry. So why can I not forgive myself? If they can forgive me, I have to learn how to forgive myself. And that goes for you too. You have to learn how to forgive yourself too. If you're someone that's like me, that beats yourself up inside, and I'm my biggest critic, there's nothing anyone else could tell me that I haven't already told myself. That's why other people and their words and what they say about me doesn't even matter, because I'm like, I've already said that to myself. I've already beat myself up about it. You can't kick me while I'm already down because I put myself down. I'm telling you, loving yourself means knowing how to put yourself back up on that bar. You shouldn't be, I kick myself down, I don't deserve, I'm not worth. You're worth everything that you desire. Become a high valued person. We're going to talk about that. Become a high valued person. Because if I strive to be a high value woman, you try to be a high value man, high value person in general, you need to learn how to forgive yourself. Okay? We all make mistakes. It's okay. Which ties into healing. I think that it's easy to heal from I strongly advise therapy to all people. I think everyone should be in therapy. There's just so much that we go through. There's just so much life. I'm actually in a pretty good space with my therapist and everything, and with life, which I'm very proud of and I'm very blessed for, but I don't want to take it for granted. I'm not going to stop just because I'm in this place. This place is, I don't know what's to come, and I want to make sure that I'm good mentally. So when it does happen, I had the tools to be able to move forward, right? So I highly encourage you to look into therapy. But some people look and their friends as therapists, or their significant other as therapists, or their mom or their dad, and they're not licensed professionals. It's not going to be the same thing. If you cannot find or afford therapy, I would definitely say, I'm not saying don't talk to anyone at all. Definitely talk to someone, but I definitely think that therapy is going to be one of your best choices. If you go to a school, most universities, there's like mental health, like centers that will literally guide you where you need to be. Once again, goes like, use your amenities, familiarize yourself with these tools, right? These resources that you have available to you, but also don't put on the back burner. It should be just as important as you setting a doctor appointment, as you getting your hair done, as you getting your hair cut. It should be just as important, in my opinion. So just learn from these mistakes, and so you can do better. I think a lot of people might have done bad in the past, and they feel like I'm a bad person now because I've done bad in the past. No, you just made poor decisions. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person. You're going to become a bad person if you keep doing those patterns repeatedly and you know that they're bad. Oh, they're bad, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to. I'm not talking today to the people who just want to do what they want to do, who just like, I don't want to love myself first. That's fine. Look, to each his own. I'm talking to those who really want to grow, who really want to be better and be better for someone else, right? Because we're all about building healthy, strong relationships and healthy, strong patterns and being a healthy, strong individual, okay? Growth-minded individual. So I definitely think that healing will be very helpful when it comes to loving yourself, just because there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff you probably don't even know that you're still hurting from that can come out of you in different ways. But it first starts with, obviously, yes, forgiving yourself if it had anything to do with you, and maybe forgiving the other person or whomever, but also just like not letting it affect your future relationships. Because I'm not saying we don't have traumas. I have trauma, and I have certain traumas that I don't think I'll ever be like, I'm 100% okay with this, like, all the time. Absolutely not. I will have my days where I wake up and cry, but it's not going to like affect like my relationship so dramatically or so bad where we can't even come back from it, right? It's something that I can handle myself. Just give me some space, maybe talk to my therapist, and I can be back to good. So I'm just saying, know how to go back to homeostasis, basically. So you're not sitting there and it's becoming detrimental for everyone else around you and becoming a toxic environment for everyone else around you. We want to avoid those, okay? Avoid creating that. And the last one that I put was date yourself first. And this one makes me really excited, only because I just think dating yourself, first of all, is so easy. You can easily romanticize your life. I know we see a lot of girls do it, romanticize your life, but man, you can look, whomever, you can romanticize your life. I don't remember romanticizing having a gender, okay? And I like me a romantic man. So if you want to romanticize your life, you do that, okay? Do what you need to do, like I said, for you. Dating yourself first helps you just get to know what you like and what you don't like. I know there's certain things that I like, and there's certain things that I know I like in people, and there's things I know I don't like. And I also know how I am as well. I'm like, I'm probably not going to want to do that because I'll probably eventually start acting like this. I'm not going to want to do that. Or I'll tell you, like, I'm very indecisive, and so I can easily tell someone like I'm indecisive because I know I'm indecisive. So I'm like, just ask me that day what I'm going to want to eat, because I'm not going to tell you one thing and you book a reservation where it's not even going to waste your I'm not going to waste your time. But I was watching the Karamo show. For those who don't watch the Karamo show, please watch the Karamo show. I was thinking about doing reactions to that, but I don't know, because some of them be a little bit triggering for me, and also I feel like sometimes when I comment on stuff, it can be a little insensitive. And so once again, if I can be like fully myself, I might, but we'll see. Yeah, from the Karamo show, Karamo was saying like, fall in love with yourself. He talks to a lot of, these women who have like really low self-esteem and stay in these really poor relationships. And he's like, you need to fall in love with you all over again. There's some reason why you don't like you and you think you deserve this. And I want you to fall in love with yourself. Date you. Don't hop into these relationships person to person, because one, is giving is trying to fill a void anyway. But two, I don't really think you're going to know yourself. You don't really know yourself like that. And three, you can almost like fall too deeply into your situation to where that person can kind of mold you, right? You act like this when you're single, but then you're with someone else and you act like them. You have certain tendencies you change to. Then you're with this person now 2 months later. Now you act like and it's like, because you don't really know you just hop and you're like, I like being in a relationship. And that's nice, but it's not good when you lose yourself in a relationship and you don't know who you are. Now you're out of a relationship and you're single, and look at you frantically like, I need to be in another relationship because I don't know who I stand as an individual, right? I don't know where I stand as me being me. So I'm telling you, I want you to get to know you first, because you are probably really interesting. You're probably a really intriguing person. Probably someone I would want to meet and actually have a conversation with. But I wouldn't know because you hide yourself behind a relationship. Or you hide yourself behind a mask of not really knowing you. And we're at this stage, we're at this era, to all my college students and everything. Like, we're in this era where we're literally all trying to figure out ourselves. I will say that I think I had a more of an upper hand being able to stay home and be around family and be comfortable and not around other, like, so many other influences where I'm like, I don't know who I am, right? I do like that I was able to stay home and kind of like figure me out. I was also raised, like, my school situations was a little bit differently. So I was able to figure out and really hone in on individualism very early on in my life. So it was very easy for me to like date myself and really just get to know. But if you're single, I challenge you on Valentine's Day, make that Valentine's Day about you. That Valentine is you day. You are your own Valentine. You hear that? You are your own Valentine. You don't need someone else by your side to tell you happy Valentine's Day. You can wake up and tell yourself that in the mirror, blow yourself a kiss, and go about with your sexy self. You can do that. You don't need someone else to do that for you, okay? Okay, you guys, my last little note, and I made this up earlier. I don't know, like, am I really doing something? See, I be doubting myself sometimes, but my last little bit of advice before we close out today was, if someone doesn't like you, that's their problem to address. But if you don't like you, that's your problem to address. Quote by me. I don't know if this is a good quote, but basically all I mean is that you can't make someone like you. I know a lot of people are like, I want to be liked and I want someone so to like me, and we care that other people like us. I get it to a certain extent, but honestly, if you don't like you, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Do you like you? If you like you, there is someone else that will like you. Just make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to like you for you. You shouldn't have to change yourself unless you want to change. Like I said earlier, I wanted to change and I wanted to make that change. My friend did not tell me that I needed to change, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So Let that be their problem to address, baby, if they don't like you. You don't got to worry about that. Leave them where they're supposed to be, okay? But if you don't like you, we got to look in here. We got to look at what's happening deep down inside, okay? So, to close up this episode, my K-Buzz for the week is Sis, Don't Settle. I chose this, and I know it's like cis, so you think it's like going towards like more so targeting women. And although, yes, this book is written by Judge Faith Jenkins, okay, because she is a judge. She's one of my favorite judges to watch. I told you guys I watch a lot of court shows, and I watch a lot of like mental health stuff. So she is like one of my top favorite judges to watch. And honestly, if you watch her daytime shows, they're like old, but like I believe that they still are on certain like streaming platforms. You can find them. But this book, I listened to it on audio. I listened to it on Audible. Surprise, surprise. And it was a little bit of a longer book, but it was so good, guys. It was so many like gems, and someone recommended it to me because she was like, Kaya, I know you just got out of this situation, but I want to let you know, like, kind of like don't settle for less and everything. And I was like, well, maybe my standards are too high. Once again, I will talk about that in a different conversation. And I could have used this K-Buzz for that week, but I'm probably going to use a different one for that. I want you guys to listen to this one. I need to get this out now because this is going to tell you when it comes to certain, I think it was like matters of the heart and everything. And it's going to tell you, basically, she's talking about just how, she didn't settle for less. She found her husband. She was like 43, 44. She was a little bit older when she got married and found her one. She's married to Kenny Lattimore, okay? Married to R&B singer. I'm not too busy for you, okay? So, I don't know. I guess to each his own. I'm a patient girl. So, but yeah, no, I'm really not. I'm really not a patient girl, but when it comes to love, I am patient. That is the one. I am actually very patient when it comes to love. In other aspects of my life, I'm not patient. How ironic is that? But yeah, so I just really want to recommend that book for anyone who's kind of struggling on finding themselves. But I really enjoyed that book a lot. Honestly, I would replay it. Like, it's a really good book. I highly recommend. So I hope you guys get to absorb that food for thought because, Judge wasn't lying. So, with that being said, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you guys found this information useful or helpful or just really positive, make sure that you guys share it and you can tag me in it. And then you can leave like a comment about maybe like your favorite moment and I will repost it on my social media. So make sure that you're following that. And with that being said, that is going to close us out. I will see you guys next week. Bye.